Joanna Kołaczkowska wasn't just a comedian, actress, or voice on the radio. She was a national treasure, a master of subtle satire and emotional authenticity. For over 3 decades, she captivated audiences across Poland with her clever wit, relatable characters, and boundless energy. By the time of her untimely passing on July 17, 2025, Joanna had amassed a net worth estimated between $100,000 and $300,000, modest by celebrity standards, but immense in cultural value. Her wealth came not from excess but from devotion to art, theater, radio, and humanity. And in that devotion, she gave her country something far greater than gold. She gave it laughter. Early life. Born on June 22, 1966, in the quaint Polish town of Polkowice, Joanna Dorota Kołaczkowska, née Chuda, was a child of contrasts, resilient yet sensitive, playful yet observant. Her world changed dramatically when she lost her father at just 5 years old. That loss would stay with her, not as a wound, but as a source of empathy, shaping the emotional honesty that would later define her performances. Joanna grew up in Lubin, a town buzzing with miners and working-class grit. Her mother worked as an accountant for the local mining company, providing stability in a home that valued strength and independence. Joanna also had an older sister, Agnieszka, who would remain a close presence in her life. From an early age, Joanna embraced the arts and movement, participating in folk dance, figure skating, and speed skating. These childhood passions taught her rhythm, discipline, and how to light up a stage long before she ever stood on one professionally. Her educational journey began at the Horticultural Technical School in Glasgow. Later, she completed a 2-year teacher's college in Legnica before moving on to the higher pedagogical school in Zielona Góra, where she studied cultural and educational pedagogy. But it wasn't textbooks or lectures that would shape her destiny. It was the stage. At university, Joanna wasn't the loudest in the room, but what she carried was rare, an ability to observe human behavior and turn it into art. Her talent was noticed by musician Adam Nowak, who encouraged her to audition for a cabaret group. That encouragement became her calling. Joanna had planned to teach, but something deeper pulled her in, a need to express the comedy and tragedy of life through performance. This wasn't a career change. It was an awakening, professional career. Joanna's professional journey began in 1988 with Kabaret Drugi Garnitur, a modest troupe that introduced her to the energy of live performance. But it was in 1989, when she joined the legendary Kabaret Podium, that her star truly began to rise. Kabaret Podium, 1989 to 1999. For a decade, Joanna helped redefine Polish cabaret. With Podium, she performed sharp, emotionally intelligent comedy that resonated with audiences across generations. Her characters were never just for laughs. They were mirrors of ourselves. AOE Film Studio, 1994 to 2006. Joanna wasn't content with the stage alone. In 1994, alongside her Podium colleagues, she co-founded AOE, a film studio that produced cult comedy films such as Robin Hood, Czwarta Strzelba, and Bazin o Ludziach. These works cemented her as not just a performer, but a visionary storyteller. Kabaret Hrabi, 2002 to 2025. When Podium ended, Joanna became the heart and soul of Kabaret Hrabi, a troupe she co-founded in 2002. Here, she wrote songs, performed iconic sketches, and shaped a unique comedic language. With Hrabi, she found not just success, but artistic freedom. She gave audiences timeless pieces like Bacteria w Kaliasi and Pio Sankasayazoa, songs that made people laugh, cry, and think. Spadka Birsi, the improvisational triumph. In 1993, she joined the improv TV series Spadka Birsi, portraying the eccentric Doran Owens. It showcased her quick wit and improvisational genius, and audiences fell in love with her unpredictability and charm. Theater and radio, a woman of many voices. Joanna lit up the theater in plays like Zanis Wykadza na Asphalt and Zien Swira. She was also a beloved voice on Radio Trojka and Radio Nowy Świat, where her warm tone and storytelling skills won over thousands. One of her proudest creations was the radio fiction series Porucznik Jagoda Hyc, a detective saga she wrote and performed with unmatched flair. Personal life. Joanna's life offstage was marked by love, heartbreak, and the strength to carry on. She married fellow cabaret performer Joanna Kołaczkowska in the late 1990s. Their daughter, Hania, was born around 2000, becoming the center of Joanna's world. Though the marriage ended in divorce, the two remained on good terms, often performing together and raising their daughter with mutual respect. Later, Joanna remarried, taking the surname Matisik, but this marriage also ended before 2018. Despite the challenges, Joanna found joy in motherhood and in the deep bonds she shared with her family. She was known to be warm, loyal, and selfless, always putting others before herself. While she never publicly spoke of her religion, her life reflected a deep moral compass, compassion for others, and a quiet spiritual strength. House tour and car collection. Joanna never chased fame for luxury. She lived modestly in a cozy apartment in Warsaw, filled with books, scripts, and mementos from her performances. Friends who visited described it as a warm space, with laughter echoing in the walls and creativity in the air. Her car? A simple, compact vehicle, practical, unpretentious, just like her. For Joanna, comfort wasn't found in luxury. It was in meaningful work, warm company, and shared stories. Cause of death. In April 2025, Joanna's cabaret group, Hrabi, announced the suspension of performances. The reason? Joanna had been diagnosed with aggressive cancer. This wasn't her first fight. Years earlier, she had survived a form of cancer during pregnancy. But this time, it returned more fiercely. Despite undergoing treatment and receiving overwhelming support from fans and colleagues alike, her health continued to decline. On July 17, 2025, Joanna passed away peacefully, surrounded by loved ones. She was just 59 years old. The news sent shockwaves across Poland. Tributes poured in. Radio stations replayed her iconic sketches. Theaters dimmed their lights. And fans lit candles, not only for the artist they had lost, but for the light she had given them. Joanna wasn't just part of Polish culture. She shaped it. Her humor was intelligent. Her performances full of heart. She brought cabaret into the 21st century without ever losing its soul. Young artists cite her as a role model. Audiences say she helped them through tough times. Critics call her one of the greatest Polish performers of her generation. She didn't rely on vulgarity or slapstick. She relied on truth, and that never goes out of style. As of July 18, 2025, Poland mourns Joanna Kołaczkowska not just as a performer, but as a friend. Through her characters, her songs, her radio shows, and her interviews, she gave people what they craved most: connection. She made laughter sacred. She made pain poetic. And she reminded us all that being human is funny, flawed, and beautiful. Joanna is survived by her beloved daughter, Hania, and the millions of people whose lives she touched. And though she is gone, her voice, full of warmth, wit, and wonder, echoes still.